What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen the title was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. Y'all see it right here. more information coming out on a daily basis. Definitely wild. This is something I definitely say that I'm not surprised by it. I feel like many are though, but I can't say I'm surprised because I've actually put Mondani's wife, and put her in, one of my videos before. You literally have it right here. Says Zohran Mondani, and this is again must resign. This people are asking him, and literally putting everything out that he should. Says breaking has been revealed that Zohran Mondani's wife has a long history of openly, literally lawyering when it comes to terrorism, and it's pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely wild when you have somebody that is praising and celebrating, when it comes to even plane hijackers that have on here. Pretty wild. Says she's also used the N-word frequently on her old account. We're gonna get to that old account too as well. Says we warned you consistently about who the Mondanis actually are, and the crazy thing is I have to. It's been a while. It's definitely been a while, and I definitely say I was one of those ones even before him being becoming the mayor. I've been saying constantly on what Mondani is about, and people still it's definitely wild. It's like people literally don't want to hear nothing that you have to say. Truly, I'm not even gonna lie. One thing about it, I don't know if y'all remember this, but just check out what he says about his wife.
My wife is the love of my life, and she's also a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall. I, however, was elected to represent all 8.5 million people in this city, and I believe that it's my responsibility, because of that role, to answer any questions about my thoughts and my policies and my decisions.
Thank you.
My wife is the love of...
Y'all have it here. And again, it has gotten worse when it comes down to it. Says Zohran Mondani cannot be allowed to excuse his wife. And this is pretty bad social media post. I'm not gonna lie. And what she's praising, I should say, is definitely sickening. This stuff has been everywhere. Really, all I would say today, between yesterday and today, on how bad it has gotten within Zohran Mondani's wife and what she's actually about, what she actually supports, and it's just not. I don't think me personally, I truly feel as if it's just not a coincidence that like all that that whole attack and like stuff like that, like it didn't, like, I don't know. A lot of that stuff is just very, very odd to me. The simple fact that Zohran Mondani didn't even acknowledge and didn't even call it out as is. And what, those individuals that actually did that, that attack, I truly don't get that. Truly don't.
Erica Donalds
Check it
is
out
the
here.
chair of Education Opportunity for America First Policy Institute, and Dan Turrentine is the co-host of The Huddle and a former Democratic strategist. Thank you both for being with us. Erica, let's take a look at some of these, the things that she has said, that you're glorifying what people are willing to do for their cause, glorifying a female hijacker. What do you make of this?
Well, I am the first one to give people second chances for things that they did in their teenage years. Let's remember, however, that she's only 28 years old now. It's not that long ago. And nothing would deter us from thinking that she still holds these radical anti-Semitic views. Unfortunately, as wives of politicians, I certainly know our views often reflect on our husbands, and they seem to be exactly in line based on his statements as well, and the people that they associate themselves with and align themselves with.
Being a public figure herself, I pull it back a little bit. Would the press let Melania Trump get away with something like that? Obviously, not. So this goes on.
Something they would go with it like crazy.
Yeah.
Take a look at the one from 2017 on her Tumblr account. This one was showing her wearing the Palestinian headdress there, and she's sewing a Palestinian flag. The caption reading, a Palestinian demonstrator sews a Palestinian Liberation Organization flag before a protest during the first Intifada, February 1988. That, of course, was a uprising, a terrorist uprising, during which Hamas was established. It lasted from 87 to 93 and saw Palestinians kill about 200 Israelis and hundreds of other Palestinians suspected of collaborating with the Jewish state.
She reposted
this one. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. But it's, you know, you repost, you write stuff.
You're supporting it.
People just, you know, you're relating to it in some way. And I think that that's what people have trouble with. Erica?
Yeah, you can't claim ignorance on things like this. Again, it's very...
I feel like regardless, like, of it, like she said, like, within it being your past, because there's a lot of people that actually... There's people that... Man, I can't even really say that, though. I really can't even say that because, like, of somebody supporting somebody and reposted something and then they support something else, you know, in the future. I feel like this is honestly way different, though. Like, I truly feel like this is something that's way different. You know what I mean? Because I was about to say, like, it's people that, like, have voted, has supported somebody else, but then now, like, they love Trump. But I really can't say that. I feel like I can't compare that. And I know I can't compare that because this is something that's way deeper. I mean, we literally talking about bad things, bad people that she's reposting, bad things that have happened, children, women. Then, not to mention, she still support, like, and people okay with this? People still supporting Mondani? Let me tell y'all something. If Mondani's wife is believing this, and this is me just being completely honest. If Mondani's wife is repeating this, she's reposting stuff, she's basically praising and supporting individuals that are doing these things. Just think about this. If she's doing all of this now, we're not talking about back then when she had her old account. We're talking about now, as her husband is, you know, the mayor, and she's doing this now. That means Zara Mondani. Like, I'm not lying. Like, that this is it's not one side. Like you know, like she said, this is something that they're all together. Mondani, what I'm trying to say is Mondani is putting on a face for y'all. When he does this little smile, and when he's putting out these little fake promotional videos or ads, whatever he's doing, I'm telling y'all, people need to see exactly. Like, it's not hard. When you have people like me and other individuals that's literally calling it out, like, just listen. Y'all seeing it. He didn't say anything about those two individuals. Those two individuals that had that bomb, I'm telling y'all. And then threw it in New York City, that attack that happened. And then call it like it was. That should tell you everything. I'm telling y'all.
Really a decade ago, and it's not like she or her husband are coming out now saying, I used to feel that way, I don't feel that way anymore, I regret supporting those types of statements that white people caused Al-Qaeda, for example. These are shocking statements of support, and liking a post is saying, I like this statement. Reposting something says, I agree with this, and there's no walking it back without a solid statement really denouncing that type of rhetoric and radical Islamic and anti-Semitic rhetoric that we're seeing from these posts. Again, not even a decade ago. If the mayor wants to distance himself from that kind of hateful speech and photographs and things like that, he needs to say so, and say so explicitly.
But Erica, I'm curious about your reaction to that last statement.
Yeah, I do believe, I agree with Dan, that it is a broader issue in the Democrat Party. It's actually become a broader issue in the Republican Party. There's been just propagandists that have been using this Israeli conflict with the Palestinians to divide both parties, I would say. And we need moral clarity, both on the right and on the left, when it comes to standing with our ally Israel and how we feel about terrorists and terrorist acts that are targeting innocent civilians. So yes, absolutely, the mayor needs to say something. I would say
He's
he
not,
needs
though.
to say something more than his wife does. He is the mayor. He needs to show leadership in this area.
Yeah, and it does make you think about when the thwarted terror attack with the bombing in New York City near Gracie Mansion, the bomb that fortunately did not go off. The first thing the mayor did was put out a statement attacking white supremacy.
Exactly.
When clearly, obviously, that was not the intended target. This was a terrorist threat, and we know that from the commissioner of the NYPD. Erica Donalds, thank you. Dan Turrentine, thank you. We do appreciate it.
I'm telling y'all. When I tell y'all, these are things that's definitely wild. You know, and the fact, and they saying he needs to be, you know, this, he's the mayor and this, that. Let me tell y'all something. He's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. You got it right here. New York Mayor, New York City Mayor Mondani's wife, Rama, has been outed out for old tweets where she left Instagram because of, you know, GA people, if y'all know what I mean, from Instagram that finally motivated me to get off the internet. Said she's used words. She said the N word. She's used the F word, if y'all know what I mean. Not, you know, I can't. It's hard for me to say stuff on here. But you have it right here. I just say FGTS. You know what I mean? If y'all can put that together. But she's using those words constantly. You know, and speaking on those things. It's, you know, I mean, it's Zora Mondani's wife has deactivated her account. When you have stuff like this, then you trying to hide who you truly are. I mean, that's, you know what I mean? It's making you even look more guilty from your actions that you are having. Like the actions that she has now today and what she's doing. I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling y'all. It's all speaking for itself. It's all speaking for itself. I'm not gonna lie. And it's definitely insane that, you know, she's even doing this in the first place. Says Mayor Mondani says he didn't address Saturday's attack on New York City on Saturday because he was at the museum with his wife and was waiting for more information to come out. When I tell y'all that this is BS, it is BS.
At home at the time of this incident, can you tell us where you were, how you learned about this incident, and what went into your thought process about why you didn't speak about this publicly, either on Saturday when the commissioner did or on Sunday?
So we had known that this was a protest that was scheduled for over a week. And I had known that there were precautions being taken, and I'm incredibly appreciative of the work that the NYPD both did in advance, as well as the work that we've spoken about having happened on the day and since then.
So regardless how I look at this, when I hear, you know, and I see, you know, that he was at the museum, a lot of this stuff is just very, very odd to me on how everything unfolded, how things were. You know, it's truly insane on how they're moving. You know, and that's what I, you know, you got a person that's obviously mayor. You see how quickly he's changing New York City, you know, with different things. I just seen something today to where they said they changing the speed limit in New York City to 20 miles per hour. Like he's doing so much to change every single thing. When I say every single thing. And it's definitely insane. I'm telling y'all. It's definitely insane. And it's definitely sad that they're even, you know, doing this. You know, and got this going on. You literally have so many, and when I say so many individuals. So many individuals that are literally turning against Zora Mondani. This paper on here, on this poll says, hate to say, you got the crossing out Zoran for New York City. We told you so. You have those posted all over New York City. When people constantly, you know, just turning on Zora Mondani because of the things that he's doing. Not only that, you got this this video of Benny Johnson said New York City's budget is $127 billion. Florida's entire state budget is $117.4 billion. While New York is collapsing, Florida is thriving. Is the top 10 economize it on Earth, and it's cleaner and safer. So, I mean, you know what I mean? Says not one person has left New York City for Florida, has any regrets. So I'm telling y'all, one thing about it is that it's definitely amazing that you have, individuals that constantly see straight through with Zara Mandani, what he has to offer, and honestly, I can't even say what he has to offer because he's not doing nothing at all. I'm not gonna lie, he's not doing the things ever since I seen Mandani and him. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do that and we're gonna do this, and him getting everybody, and just seeing like you can see straight through a person. I'm telling you.
Can't they find stuff to cut before they overtax?
Yeah, Liz, I'm so glad that you brought up these numbers. In preparation for your show today, I actually pulled the Florida budget for the state of Florida that has, let's see, 26 million people living in this state. It is the fastest growing economy, arguably in the world. It's in the top 10 economies on Earth. It is actually growing instead of collapsing, and we have a lower budget for the entire state than just New York City. So explain to me, how does that work exactly? And here's a great question for you, Liz. I think you're in New York. Are you broadcasting from New York?
Yes, we
You know
are.
the city well. Has New York City gotten better or worse?
Worse.
With all this excess taxation. Are things better? Are things cleaner, more orderly, safer? The New York City has added $40 billion to its budget since Michael Bloomberg left. $40 billion. Have you seen the benefits of that?
No. You should see the potholes out here. They're bigger than Jupiter. Benny Johnson, it's so good to have you on the show.
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like we can go neck and neck. I feel like Indianapolis, we go neck and neck. Because it's bad. It's bad in Indianapolis. Potholes are horrible, y'all. I'm talking about horrible. Horrible. And I live on the outskirts, though. I can't even really say that. I live on the outskirts. Indianapolis can get bad. It definitely can. But one thing about it, not looking good, when it comes down to New York City. This is the governor, says she's begging rich people to come back to New York because Mandani has already ran all of them off.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. Go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
How did that happen?
You got Mandani. Mandani has literally made everything. When I say everything, everything. Says there's one thing they can put the vast majority of the blame on, and that's the Democratic Party. And y'all all see it. Y'all all see it. That people are not rocking with New York City. I'm telling y'all. And they're moving on. They're moving on. And I'm not on here just to say that, yeah, you need to leave. And I'm telling, I want to tell people where to go, but I'm just saying make better decisions. Because when you have a person like this, he obviously doesn't know what he's doing. And it ain't even been that long. And he's messed up. I'm telling y'all, it's messed up completely. And then on top of that, you're having your wife literally make everything worse. I'm telling y'all, it's horrible. It's definitely horrible. One thing about it, people are literally calling, not only for her or for Mandani's wife's, arrest, but for him, to resign. I'm telling y'all. Definitely insane. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.